Doing it.
Podcast about sports, about sports.
Howdy, Ags. Welcome to the tailgate. Say P with Corey, the delivery man today.
Hey,
I'm a little wounded this time around, Corey.
oh yeah, what happened?
My legal team has told me I can't talk about it.
Can I talk about it then?
No. You can't talk about it. You're probably going to be
there.
involved in a deposition at some point. You know, we can't.
I was there.
Yeah. Unfortunately, you weren't injured. I wish you'd have been injured with me because
What the hell is that? Unfortunately, you weren't injured.
it'd make me feel better. You know, it's just kind of like misery loves company. I will tell you that. Broken collarbone makes for miserable nights and miserable mornings.
Oh, how's Sam's boat?
Huh?
How's the boat?
Yeah, the boat's good.
The boat's good.
Yeah, the boat's good. Today's episode, Corey, brought to you by Frida Homes, building Aggie dreams, custom home builders with over 15 years of experience in the Brazos Valley. If you're looking for someone that cares about you and the details you care about, contact Frida Homes. Visit them on Instagram at frida.homes or give Justin a call at 979-450-4466. When you call, just remember, everyone loves
their Frida Homes.
And let them know that you heard the ad and Ags Tailgate. All right. On top of that, don't forget to email us at agstailgate@gmail.com if you got some commentary, some show topics, something you want to talk about. Anything you want to share on the show, just let us know. You can always see us on YouTube. On YouTube, you can subscribe, leave comments, let us know what your thoughts are. If you want to just bitch out Corey because he's, kind of a bitch, that's fine too. We'll put that on the air.
Haven't heard that one before.
Corey, as we've told the folks, for the last couple of weeks, today we're going to talk a little bit of Texas A&M over/under win totals. The number is at 7.5. But first, let's go through a few notes from practice and things going on around the program. I want to start with a couple of guys that are no longer in the program, but I want to wish them all well. Damon Demas has figured out legal trouble. Former 5-star wide receiver for the Aggies. He is now at Garden City Community College in Kansas. So he's going to get the opportunity to get his football career back on track. I wish him the best. I'm going to predict that Demas is going to, not this year, but next year, blow it up at Garden City Community College. Blow it up. What do you think?
I don't think he'll be there for 2 years. I think he'll do his thing this year. He'll be in Colorado with Dion and probably have a couple other Aggies over there with him.
Hey, he may be blowing it up over there too. I really do hope he does great and achieves all his goals. And hopefully he's got his all his stuff behind him. So Chris Marshall, another guy that's been dismissed from the Aggies as well as Ole Miss. He is now enrolled at Kilgore Junior College, a guy that will then get, dismissed from the program at Kilgore, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Some word about him. Huh?
That guy's a head case, Chris Marshall. I mean, Demas, I don't think is so much of a head case as much as Marshall is.
No, I think, to a certain extent, some bad circumstances and things. And the dude was in love, man. Love makes you do crazy things.
Yeah.
Denver Harris apparently having some issues also at discipline issues at LSU. There's some rumors that he may be facing discipline over the next couple of days, see what happens. So we'll keep folks updated to see if we get any updates there. I think that's I believe that coach, LSU coach, O'Brien, why am I blanking on his last name, Corey?
Brian Kelly?
Brian Kelly. Brian Kelly sort of had indicated that, hey, Denver Harris understands this is his last chance. We'll see if Brian Kelly will hold himself to that sort of accountability or whether he'll suspend him. And because of the fact that he realizes that he's also his most talented cornerback, he's going to keep him in the program. and it'll give him a chance to get back into the good graces.
I mean, have you noticed the thing here is like these guys get in trouble at A&M and they go somewhere else and get in trouble again. It's crazy.
Yeah, probably a sign of things to come. On the other hand, though, Anthony Lucas is a guy that also got in trouble at A&M. He's getting lots of praise from Lincoln Riley over at USC, saying how good of an influence he's been there in the locker room. And so wish him the best as well. Good for Anthony Lucas, learning from what happened here and going over there and trying to fulfill the dreams that he had when he joined the Aggies, right?
Right.
Some bad news for Aggies. Donovan Green out for the season with an ACL. Corey, I gotta say, a lot of people are sort of brushing this under the rug as far as the impact of this loss. Donovan was an incredibly productive last year as a freshman. As a freshman, especially in the passing game. He was already a better blocker than our prior tight end as a junior. So I mean, I thought the dude had the opportunity to have a huge year this year and have a big impact on the team, be a big playmaker. Obviously, Wright is going to be a guy that gets in there and he can get a senior, 6th year, whatever he is, 7th year. We'll be able to take some of those reps and all that, and he can make some plays in the short passing game, but he's not going to be the seam stretcher and field stretcher that, Green gave you the opportunity to be with your tight end. Right. So definitely to me, a loss. The other guys behind him in Jake Johnson and Theo, both guys that, people have talked about being that kind of player in the passing game, but both guys that haven't done it. Right.
Right. They haven't, well, neither one was on the field that much last year besides Max and Green. And yeah, no, I don't think any of them bring the athletic ability that Green brings to the field. I mean, the stretch of defense to keep him honest. And like you said, he was doing better as a blocker. I mean, probably behind Max, he's probably the second best blocking tight end we have.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. I mean, we'll have to see what happens. We do have a talented room back there, so we'll see what they can do.
Yeah, hopefully one of those guys steps right into that role and fulfills all the promise and what's the word I'm looking for? Potential that
Well, I mean, what Jake was rated higher than Green coming out of high school, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was, but clearly he hasn't produced at the same level.
All right.
We'll
see what happens this year.
Practice, most guys, there have been some bumps and bruises, but he's been so far the only significant injury that has occurred as of this week anyway. Hopefully that continues. Obviously, we're hoping that after last year's injuries and all that went on, as many injuries as there were, that we've got a sort of better luck this year in that regard, and try to stay sort of unscathed, hopefully, knock on wood. A couple of notes from practice before we get into the over-under, Corey.
Yeah.
Starting off with the offense. Running back is the competition for running back for snaps at running back is wide open, my friend. Moss, Daniels, Owens, all three of them, showing different things and getting opportunities with the first team and making plays. I think that it really is leading to what we should expect to be a shared committee approach, especially early on in the season. Owens still picking up some of the nuances and different things in the playbook and doing those types of things as well. So, I think if anybody separates themselves, maybe it's him at some point. Obviously Moss has got some physical skills, but I do think that this is going to be a committee approach, at least for the first, good portion of the season, maybe half of the season.
No, I agree with him. I think we talked about it in the past, but I think Owens is going to come out and after about probably week 4 and be the dominant ball carrier. He'll be getting the ball more than anybody else. I mean, they're college running backs. I don't think you can give them too much. You know what I'm saying? They got the wear and tear. You got 3 of them.
I'll be honest,
they're all good.
I love Daniels, man. I really do like what he's shown in the limited number of snaps that he's gotten and opportunities with the ball in his hand. I think he's been ultra productive, and to me, that's the guy. I'm rooting for him to succeed. I'll be honest with you. But you're right. I think ultimately, at some point, whether this year or next, Ruben Owens' overall talent, will probably
Right. Yeah.
Tight end room, we talked about it a little while ago.
Yep.
Lots of talent there. We'll see who emerges after this injury. I think the one calming factor for me is still having Wright there to be a steadying influence, right? That at least in the running game and in those types of things, because of the fact that we've got the receiver room that we do have, having Wright is actually, to me, one of the things that gives me a little bit of, let's say, sort of makes it okay, just it doesn't make it okay, but just a protection against losing Green, right?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not worried about it. We've been recruiting well in the tight end room. We should have plenty of depth there. We should be fine. I mean, it sucks to lose a guy like Green, who's I think is going to be a future pro, but I think we might have one or two other future pros in the locker room.
Yeah, hopefully so. I hope so. We'll learn a lot more about the tight end room over the next couple of weeks as those guys start to get all those reps. With the wide receivers, look, we've talked about it all off season. The wide receiver room is absolutely stacked with the first four guys that we all know their names, right? I mean, with Stewart, with Thomas, with Smith and
Muhammad,
right? I mean, those four guys are established, well known. Everybody knows who they are, and they know that what's going on. But there's two guys that, from what I've seen and what I've also heard from other folks, are really vying to earn some time in that rotation. And hopefully, not because I don't think that the freshmen can contribute, but hopefully keep those freshmen off the field, because you generally are, would like to do that, right? I mean, you want to be an older. Right. And the two guys I'm talking about are both transfers. Jordan Anthony, the sophomore from Kentucky, smaller guy, great speed, more of an interior guy, but he's producing. Maybe his involvement may end up being more next year than this year. But I think he's really showing folks that, look, he's here because he's going to get into the mix at some point, right? And then Ja'Day Walker, the junior transfer from Grand Valley State, who, wasn't this overly hyped transfer or anything like that. But the guy's a big 6'4" physical type of kid. And he looks like he's a guy that can make plays, man. And he's been competing out there with some of the other dudes and with our secondary. I think he's going to get a role in this offense this year.
Nice. I like it. So you have him and Thomas as our big receivers, and you got a bunch of little guys, huh?
Yeah, absolutely. But he gives,
I can make that work.
That's a great point. He gives you the one other size alternative other than Thomas out there, right?
Yeah.
And he's got a lot more experience as far as games played in college football. Yeah, it's at Grand Valley, but it's still college football experience. I'm excited to see the guy play. He's still not going to be, one of the primary guys, but I wouldn't be surprised if he gets every game he's in the rotation. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, I think he'll be in the rotation, but if I see him out there a whole lot, that means those other four guys we're talking about are pretty damn good.
Yeah,
so,
I'll say this.
Go ahead.
If he's out there a lot, it better be because of the fact that they're running a blistering pace on offense and they're just rotating receivers in and out.
It better not be because of injuries or Moose wore sleeves or something stupid ass.
I guess we got protection against sleeves this year, though.
Oh, yeah.
Offensive line wise, couple of injury notes. Father's still making his way back from injury, but he started to get some practice time. He's getting some time with the offense and working with those guys. So he's kind of working his way back into his position. In his absence, though, one of the things that this team there's been questions about is sort of the depth at offensive tackle. Who's going to be the guys that play? Let's say if there is an injury. Last year, Zune played a lot hurt. What happens if Father or Zune is not around or is not available? Well, I think to that point, we have had the opportunity to now see two other guys really step up and show that they're capable. One of them, freshman Chase Basantis. The other one, Crown Over, a guy that's been in the program now for a couple of years, converted tight end, is huge, number one, but also super athletic. From what I am seeing and from what I am hearing, Crownover is making a name for himself with that group.
Really?
And he may be the first tackle off the bench if anything happens with Zune or with Fathery, even before the freshman Basantis, who obviously has gotten tons and tons of hype, right?
Yeah, I didn't know that. I wasn't expecting you to say that. Crown over. Okay, gotcha.
Crownover surpassed a guy like Aki, who's taking reps at tackle, by the way.
Dude, would you give him up on Aki? I mean, I'm sorry. The guy.
You want me to take him off the list? You want me to take him off the list?
Oh, yes.
Okay.
Jesus. Aki, I'm sorry, buddy. I mean, we watched you and you looked lost last year. I'm talking lost.
Lost.
Every snap, it was just like you were out of position. The whole offensive line was screwed as soon as they said hut because you were going the wrong way. They went all right, you went left. I mean, it was awful.
You got a lot of love for the big man. Look,
yeah,
I will tell you this: Crownover is another one of those guys. I said it about Daniels earlier. I'm really rooting for the dude, and the reason being is that he showed up on this campus without much fanfare at all, and he's worked his butt off to go from tight end, put on weight, learn offensive line, to play at tackle, and to me, if he a guy that'll work that hard to get there is a guy that'll continue working hard to be a productive player. And so I root for him, man. I root for him. I hope he does get into the rotation. I don't necessarily, obviously I'm not hoping for any injuries to anybody, but I do hope he finds some playing time. Zune is another guy, obviously everybody's talked about, and we've heard all about the fact that he was playing last year with injuries and everything else, and how tough he was to play through that. He only missed, I think, one full game. And you got to give the guy credit, obviously, for doing that. But in year two, he's got to take a big step forward, right?
I mean, are you helping the team or hurting the team if you're playing injured? Is it better to have a guy that's not injured? Are you better at 90% than this guy's at 100% or 75? Are you better at 75 than this guy's at 100? I don't know. That's always been a question. But usually I take the guy that's healthy and put him in there and let this guy heal up because these guys are young. They're kids.
Yeah. He's got a lot of football he can still play. I'd agree with you on that.
Because you're going to make the injury worse possibly if you get out there and keep doing that. Go ahead.
On the interior of the offensive line, we're hearing a lot of good things about Nobu and Dewberry. Also Strickland playing some center in there. And lots of, you're seeing those guys really just continue to improve, right? And in practice, but also, we only see so much of practice. So, the word from in the building has also been a lot of praise for those guys. I like that group. I like all three of those guys just fine. One name that we're not hearing has sort of stood out that much is Foster.
Oh, I thought you were going to say Wyckoff.
We're definitely not hearing about Wyckoff.
I heard he looks good right now. I heard he looks really good.
Yeah, Wyckoff looks great at Cal. But a guy that you listen to Texags, and the biggest reason in this offensive line where they're going to go from the worst in the SEC to the best in the SEC is because Foster is that good of a center, right? He should be a top 25 player in the entire SEC, regardless of position. And the guy has been the difference last year when he played and he didn't, which is untrue and just false. So, they think he's the best offensive lineman on this team, apparently. The fact of the matter is that he's never played.
Right.
And when he has been on the field, he hasn't been very good. So I'm not saying I wish anything bad to him. Look, he's got to be there. He's got to be there at practice. He's got to take reps. He's got to stop taking summers off, right? And off. I mean, running track. That's right. Because college football is a 365-day-a-year job for these guys, and he needs to be a part of that.
I mean, you said it right there. It is a job now. It is a job. They're getting paid. It's a job.
Yeah, they're getting paid.
Yeah. There's kids trying to go to the pros just so they can still do their NIL. Have you heard that? Different sports, kids are like, "No, I'm coming back."
Oh yeah, I can make more in my NIL money than I can as a 5th-round pick. So why would I leave?
Exactly. So it's a job.
Defensively, and we'll run through some of this pretty quick. Linebacker continues to be a position of concern overall. Even though there's a lot of optimism with the young guys, including Harris from last year, but it's still the position probably folks are most worried about inside the building, and that really has a lot of questions. Thoughts?
I've heard good things about Cooper.
Yeah, his athleticism is showing out. They're going to have to let him play, right?
Well, you think? We'll see.
DBs, the freshman DBs are getting a lot of love. Javon Thomas is getting reps with the first team, a lot of reps with the first team defense, opposite of Chappelle. And folks have been impressed with how he's handled that. The other two, Bravion Rogers and Dalton Brooks, have also been getting lots of praise about their sort of as football players, their physicality, their aggressiveness, their ability to step out on the field and play. I think it could have a little something to do with, both of those guys, small town guys, Shiner, LaGrange, I believe, are the two.
Got a little chip on their shoulder.
Well, and they played both sides of the ball, right? They
Right.
So did the Rock, and now they're
Yeah.
playing defense. They're they're not just DBs. They want to go out there. They're used to some contact too.
They're not like Dion, huh? They're looking for the contact.
Yeah, they're not Dion.
Dude, it makes me nervous. They're talking about these freshmen playing a lot of time in secondary because freshmen get burnt a lot.
Yeah. Look, I don't know. I'm not sure that those other two guys are going to get tons of time. I think they may get some reps here and there. But I wouldn't be surprised if Javon Thomas is in the mix at corner.
I hear you.
Clearly, Chappelle is the guy. There is no question. Chappelle is the guy. He's having a great camp. The dude is going to be your number one corner. And the only question is who's on the other side.
What about my boy Tony Grimes?
So from what I'm seeing and from what I'm hearing, Josh DeBerry is getting a little bit more recognition than Tony Grimes.
Really?
And, Tony, is finding out that that there's some pretty good athletes out here trying to take his spot.
Yeah.
I say that because everybody sort of assumed the day that he transferred over here that he was going to get handed the job. And everybody's got him listed as one of the top players on this defense, and this and that. But Corey, me and you have talked about it. Where'd he play at?
North Carolina, baby. Powerhouse of defensive backs.
What conference is North Carolina in?
Same one as Boston College, the ACC.
ACC. Was that defense very good for North Carolina against the pass last year?
No.
And by the way, the guy playing opposite of Tony Grimes at North Carolina was considered the better cornerback. So
that's here too then.
He got more votes for all ACC than Tony. All I'm
did
saying.
Tony get votes for all ACC?
Huh?
Did Tony get votes for all ACC last year? I thought he did. Or was that the year before?
The year before, and he ended up honorable mention with like 8 other guys. And I'm not trying to knock Tony Grimes.
Sounds like you are.
Look, if he's the guy, he's the guy. I just think he's getting way too much hype for a guy coming from a program that was one of the worst defenses in all of college football.
Okay.
That's all I'm saying.
I hear you.
So if he's on the field, I'm a little concerned.
I'm concerned about us picking up 3 or 4 different transfers from Boston College. The team that's, I mean, you're talking about getting a guy from Carolina. Carolina at least won like 8 or 9, 10 games last year. Boston College couldn't win shit, and then we're sitting here talking, let's go get all their players. Doesn't make any
Right,
sense.
North Carolina. If we could have picked up a couple of their offensive players, I'd be real excited about that.
Yeah. All
Um,
right.
defensive line wise, and in this deal before we go into the over unders, who have I been talking about all off season?
Jimbo.
I
What?
have been
What?
talking about Jimbo all offseason. What
Yeah.
player, what defensive player, and defensive lineman specifically have I been really excited about all offseason?
Who are you talking about? There's a lot of them.
Oh, geez, Louise, you're no
Jackson.
fun as a co-host right now. Listen,
Jackson.
no, well, yes, of course, but
Wait. Turner.
Shamar
No.
Turner, Shamar
You talked
Turner,
about Turner. You talked
100%.
about
So, word out of camp, and for everything we're seeing, Shamar Turner is a man, and that dude's going to be getting a lot of time, and he's going to be one of the leaders on that defensive line.
I just don't know where he's gonna line up.
He's going to be your starting defensive end, opposite of Fidel Diggs.
Does he have the speed to get around the corner?
Yes. And I think,
Okay.
but I also think they move him inside on passing downs. And then they bring in another guy that I've been ultra excited about, and I think is going to have a monster year, Malik Silla, who word on Silla has been absolutely phenomenal on everything he's done. His explosiveness, his ability to come off the edge, to rush the passer, just unbelievable in that regard. I think Malik Silla has an opportunity to be the leading sack guy on this team. Now,
Okay.
he's going to be a rotational player because they're gonna use other guys on rundowns, right?
No.
But
They got 12 guys that are gonna get playing time on that defensive line. I mean, that's the only thing about it. It's gonna be hard to go with the hot hand because they're gonna have. I mean, we can sit here and name, I think, 12 players that deserve time.
probably pretty close to it. Another couple of guys that have gotten a lot of praise and have looked good, just because I don't want to leave some guys out here, but Diggs as well, and not White has been good also as an edge rusher. Overton, I think, has taken a step forward, a big step forward. Now,
That's 3.
part of the thing that I'm going to turn around on Overton, and this is going to be a coaching staff thing just to bring you some concern. Apparently, he's looking really good in coverage.
God bless America.
Yes.
Why do they keep doing that?
Well, I told you.
Did we just talk about that? And we just talked about that like a couple of weeks ago. Why don't put your defensive ends in coverage all the time? Get them upfield. You're not fooling anybody.
DJ Durkin is not going to change his stripes. He's going to do what he loves to do, which is throw a 3-man line out there and let those defensive ends go get lost in grass. So it's going to happen. The freshman Hicks looks good. No surprise there. A
That's
guy
4.
that, I mean, hey, look, you want me to name 12?
5, McKinley Jackson. Turner at 6.
Shamar Stewart.
7.
How about Nolan?
8.
Regis?
9.
Did you count White?
I didn't hear White. What about Dinlow or whatever?
Brownlow Dindy.
Brownlow Denny, that's 11. What's the big guy? Did you say Regis already?
And the guy that's been getting a little pub as a walk-on, Scarlett, Jaden Scarlett.
Okay, we're not talking about that. We're not talking walk on.
Hey, I'm just giving you another name. But
I'm just saying. I mean, we can go all day with the freaking.
How about the Hawaiian, the Hawaiian in the middle?
Oh, the big dude,
Big Tamu,
385 pounds, whatever he weighs.
There you go.
He ain't gonna play this year. He plays this year.
Isaiah Rakes, by the way.
Oh yeah, Rakes. I mean, dude, you're still going.
Yeah, I'm still going. All right, moving on. A lot of good things. A guy, I will say this, Shamar Stewart, a guy that I think is not standing out right now. So, and we've talked about it this offseason. We think that he's still a guy that probably needs a little bit of development. He's not that just twitchy, super explosive athlete, and he's also not, Shamar Turner as far as his build and all that. So, he may just need another year of development. I expect that he's not going to be as prominent as he was last year on this defense. All right, over under 7.5 wins. All right, without going through this, which we're going to, I want to get your just off the top of your head. What's your inclination, over or under, Corey?
I mean, from a talent standpoint, I think we're over. From what I saw last year, I would probably bet the under.
You would bet the under?
As of right now, I'd bet the under because I don't trust our coaching staff.
All right, here we go. New Mexico.
It's a win.
Mexico's a clear win. We're not even going to get into sort of all that. The only hope for New Mexico is the fact that by halftime we're winning by 37 points.
Right.
All right, Miami, which I like to think may be called the Fire Bowl.
Here it is. Here it comes. What did you say you've been talking about all year? All offseason?
Well,
There it is.
I certainly haven't been talking about the Fire Bowl all year.
Not the fireball, but what's the fireball mean? What's that for?
Yeah.
You think the place will catch on fire?
Yeah, maybe. Whoever loses this game is well on their way.
There it is.
Whichever team loses this game is
Love it.
on their way to losing a coach.
Love it.
No, listen, talking seriously about Miami, last year was all the hype about Tyler Van Dyke and the quarterback. At the end of the day, offensively for that team, where are the weapons? They've got one good receiver. He's a smaller guy, a slot guy. They don't have any outstanding weapons outside of that. The offensive line isn't great. Are they going to be able to hold up? Will they run the ball at all?
A&M's clearly the better team. Clearly on paper, A&M's the better team.
No question.
We should beat it. I think in my eyes, we should beat them by 2 to 3 scores. I'm not talking field goals. I'm talking 2 touchdowns and a field goal. I'm thinking we should win by 14 to 17 points, I think, easily. Just because this guy, Tyler Van Dyke, he didn't show me shit last year.
No.
I mean, the year before he came on in a backup role, I think, and did well, and they hyped him up last year, and he sucked.
Oh, he was going to be a first pick. The guy got benched.
Exactly. It's awful, man. It's a bad story. But yeah, Aggies should win. That should be 2.
That should be 2. You're 100% correct. That's going to be a win. I'm going to go 3 touchdowns, by the way.
Yeah.
Auburn.
Wait, what about you? You skipped one.
Oh, ULM. Okay, we're gonna go ahead and take the win on ULM. We're not even gonna get into a whole lot of discussion.
Did you do that last year to App State? Did you do that last year? We're taking the win on App State.
Probably.
There you go. All right, appreciate that.
We're gonna take the win on ULM. If we lose to ULM, just blow the whole program up. Okay.
We said that to App State last year,
and we should have blown the whole program up.
Call it the Fireball. All right, go ahead.
So what? We're at 3. We're at 3 so far, right?
Yeah, 3-0.
All right, Auburn. Hugh Freeze coming in, man. Tons and tons of hype. Transfer portal to the like 17 times. All these things going on. End of the day, their quarterback is going to be Peyton Thorne or Robbie Ashford. Which one of those guys?
Robbie Ashford beat us. Didn't Robbie Ashford beat us last year?
He did. I mean, they scored like 17, like maybe 10 points or something. We lost 10-7. I don't even know if they scored. It wasn't much more.
That should be every team's game plan against us is to score 1 touchdown and make us score against you. Because we couldn't do it last year.
We couldn't do it last year. You're absolutely correct.
So we should win this game. We should. But Hugh Freeze, he's got that program. He's going to have them going in the right direction sooner than later.
I agree with you. I think Hugh Freeze will get things going. I don't think it's going to be this year. I think they're likely one of the bottom 2 teams in the SEC West, if not the bottom team in the SEC West this year. And I expect the Aggies to beat them by multiple touchdowns. I think that's good enough.
I agree.
4-0?
Yeah.
All right. Arkansas. I'm going to be honest with you. I think this game comes down to one thing. DJ Durkin. DJ Durkin, can we stop the run? Will he play a 3-man line all day and let those dudes run for 6, 7, 12, 7, 5, 7, 8, 7 yards every time they decide to carry the ball?
No, I hear you. It's our defense against their offense. Who wins that matchup?
Yeah, that's another good question. Look, Arkansas's offense, right? KJ Jefferson and Sanders are both excellent players.
Right.
My question to them is who's on the outside? And I don't think they've got great weapons. That's why I think to them, if they could stick to the running game and really take care of business there, if DJ Durkin doesn't do something about stopping the running game, I think that's the difference in this game. Defensively, they weren't good last year. I don't expect them to be that much better this year. I certainly don't expect them to be able to match up, especially in the secondary where they were horrible last year, match up with the A&M receivers, right? So,
well, why don't they just make Arkansas a one-dimensional team? Put 8, 9 guys in the box, make KJ throw the ball, and see if they can beat us over the top. If they do, tip your hat to them, but don't give them what you know they're good at. That's what the great Bill Belichick does.
Top, that may just lead to a big shootout, right?
Fine, I'll take our weapons against their weapons
for sure. All day.
Now, if it's a ground and pound game, I think they'll win it because I think they have the better O-line coach because their head coach is a better O-line coach.
Yeah.
I'm not sure about their O-line period talent-wise, but they'll probably be better coached.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. That one right there is probably a toss-up. I like to say A&M, but I might lean Arkansas right now. Was that the game last year where we got lucky and got the fumble and Damani returned it?
That's correct.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go with you. I'm gonna go with you. I'm gonna go Arkansas, and it's because this may be, hopefully, maybe it's this could be the light the torch, maybe turn the light on for DJ Durkin kind of game, where they come out and Durkin shows up in his regular 3-man line for 70% of the game. They run for 476 yards and 35 points, and we lose 35-32.
Are they practicing that 3-man line right now? Is that what they're doing?
Yes, they're practicing a lot.
Of a 3-man line?
Yeah. He's going to continue to alternate between the two because that's what he does. That's what he does. And until somebody tells him, look, you can't do this.
I'll tell him he needs to go somewhere else with that shit.
You can't do this. Until somebody tells him you can't do this, somebody with authority over his next contract and working ability, he'll continue to do it.
He's doing gimmicks on a team that doesn't need gimmicks. We have too much talent to do the gimmicks.
Yeah.
You do that kind of shit, schools that don't have the talent. Go ahead.
So I think we're at 4-1 right now, right?
Yep.
We got Alabama. So I think I go back to the same thing. You lose to Arkansas because your defense can't stop the run. Are you going to be able to stop the run against Alabama? Will you change your stripes? Will you give in and say, we're going to put, 8 in the box and stop this Alabama running game? I'm not sure if they do. I think that once again is going to be the big factor here. Bama will start Milroe, in my opinion, and they're going to pound the rock. They're going to run the football. If you don't force them to throw it, they're not going to. And then the other side of this is going to be, to me, the first real challenge for Petrino's offense. This is the first good defense that they're going to face next year. This year. Sorry. Kool-Aid and the gang, Turner and his buddies, on defense, those guys are good players. And I think they're better coached this year. This team is going to be a challenge. No questions asked to me. First,
it's probably a loss.
You're going to go loss?
Well, I'm going based on what I saw last year. And if you're telling me they're running a 3-4 defense still, I'm saying loss. Unless we come out in the first couple games and show me something different, I'm saying a loss.
Or it's not even a 3-4 defense. It's a 3-3 defense, right? I mean,
even better.
Yeah.
A lot of gaps.
We always play Bama tough. There's no question about it. But if Jimbo doesn't basically tell Durkin, like, hey, I want to see 8 and 9
Aggressive.
blocks. I want to see 4 and 5 defensive linemen in the game. If he doesn't tell them and force them to do it, I'm probably on your side. I think Alabama ends up winning this game.
Yeah, I mean, I think we can beat both Arkansas and Alabama, but right now I think coaching matters in those 2 games, and we lose both of them.
All right, so
4-2.
4-2. All right, Tennessee, and I want to get your thoughts on Tennessee before I go into mine.
Great coach team. I love his offense. He's going to throw the ball all over the damn field. Very high octane pace. Real big on the pace. If the quarterback is what he was at the end of last year, we could be in trouble.
Milton.
Yeah. They lost some weapons on the outside. I know they lost a couple of receivers, offensive line, and I don't think they're replenishing the talent there in Tennessee, but they haven't replenished it all yet because they lost a lot over the coaching changes. So talent-wise, we've got them. You got them on talent. Coaching, I think it's them. And I think this might be an upset that we beat them.
Like you said, they lost a lot on talent, especially offensively. I will tell you the one area of concern to me is the offensive line. I think that they will just replace the receivers. I really do. I think they're going to replace the receivers, and they're not going to miss a beat. And Heupel's going to continue to do that going forward, right? I think that passing game is going to be electric every year. The offensive line might give him some struggles, might be an opportunity for the Aggies defense to make some plays, get some pressure. But I'm going to tell you, this is what I'm going to tell you with regards to this game. This may be the funnest game of the year for the Aggies. This may be one of those games that it is up and down the field. It is high scoring. It is exciting, big plays, turnovers, just changes in the freaking momentum, like an Alabama game from a couple of years ago, right? Like one of those games that you're just like on the edge of your seat every down of this game. That's my first prediction.
Right.
Here's my second prediction. I think Tennessee, this specific year, plays to our strengths. I think offensively they want to throw the football. We know that. I think our strength defensively is the pass. I think defensively, I don't think that they can match up defensively with the guys that we have out there offensively. And Petrino calling the plays is going to push the ball, right? That they're going to get the ball to these playmakers. That's just going to happen. I am convinced that this game actually plays to our strengths. We beat Tennessee. I'm taking the win.
I'll take the win too.
I love it. So 5-2.
5-2.
South Carolina. What do you think?
I don't know. This kid's driving me nuts. Keeps calling my kid's iPad. Well, I mean, it's the same South Carolina team as last year. We lost to them last year. I like Beamer as a coach. I don't think he's got the depth that we have. I think we learned something from last year's game. I don't think there's any way that South Carolina can jump on us like they did. I mean, things were lined up in their favor last year. You know, the stars aligned. I mean, the opening kickoff, the next play, the first 3 possessions were, boom, 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 17-0. And I probably won't ever let you put a bet like that in that game again.
I'm going to do it again this year. I'm going to put a ton of money on South Carolina again this year. Don't worry about that.
On South Carolina? I wish you would have put it on South Carolina last year.
Against South Carolina. Sorry. Listen, Corey, I agree. Beamer's a great coach. The fact of the matter is, talent here does not even come close to matching up. They cannot match talent for talent with A&M anywhere on the field. It's all on Rattler's shoulders over there offensively. I don't trust him. I don't think he's as good as people give him credit for as having a year last year with the last couple of wins and all that. I don't think he had that great of a performance over the last couple of weeks. The dude has been inconsistent his entire career, has struggled against good defenses consistently. I expect that to continue. They've got one of the best wide receivers in the country in Wells, but that is the only other guy on that offense that really scares you. Where's the
One of the best. We got Chappelle. We'll cover his ass.
Yeah, where's the rest of the production going to come from, right?
Yeah.
And defensively, they can't match up. They can't put pressure up front. Their front is not disrupted. To me, at the end of the day, this is a clear win for the Aggies. I don't think it's even close. It's multiple touchdowns.
All right, we at 6-2.
Yeah, it's 6-2.
All right, we got Ole Miss.
What do you think?
They do well. We can't stop. They run the ball, and we can't. We haven't beat Ole Miss in a minute, have we?
No, it's been several years. I think it's been 3 years.
Well, oh shit. I mean, I'm on the fence on this one. I mean, this game, the Arkansas game, I think we'll win one of those 3 games. This, Arkansas, Alabama, one of those 3. Because I don't think Alabama's that great. I think they're very beatable. I think Arkansas is very beatable. They're not Georgia. I'll tell you that much. You know what I'm saying? None of these teams are Georgia.
You're 100% correct. I'm gonna put this game on Kiffin. I'm gonna put this game on Kiffin. I'm gonna tell you why.
So
I'm gonna tell you why. Quinshawn and Dart are 2 good ball players. Dart's gonna be their starting quarterback. I know you like Sanders, whatever. That's not gonna happen.
we got to bet on this.
However, Quinshawn Johnson, that dude is a monster. That dude is a monster. Quinshawn's gonna lead the SEC in rushing again. Again. I'm telling you, that's going to be the problem for the Aggies. Now, to me, the reason I'm going to put this on your boy Kiffin is, will Kiffin stay with the run? Will he quit being an idiot and go for it on 4th and 7 every damn drive? Or will he just take points and put points up? If he does, they've got a chance to win that game, Ole Miss. If he doesn't, Aggies are going to score enough points to win that game, period. That's it. Is Kiffin smart enough to do it? Is Durkin smart enough to stop the run? I think we all know the answer to that so far. This is a toss-up game for me.
That's the way I feel. I mean, I'm going to take the Aggies. I'll take the Aggies in this one because I feel like our defense is better than their defense. And their offense isn't, if it's any better than our offense, it's not much better. And that's just because of the running game. That's because we have an unproven running game and they have a proven one. But
I'm going to go with you. I'm going to go with you in the sense that I have some faith that Petrino is going to be substantially better than Jimbo as a play caller. And I think that offensively our athletes are ridiculously good.
Right.
Because of that, I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt. We're going to score enough points here to win this game. I'm going to go with the Aggies. I'm going to say that brings us to what? 7?
Seven and yeah.
Mississippi State. What do you think, Corey?
Once again, you know, this is one of the most experienced teams in college football coming back this year, if not the most.
Isn't that crazy?
That says something. I mean, huh?
Yeah, it's crazy, isn't it?
Yeah, and even if they lost Mike Leach, I mean, you can't take away from the fact they have a lot of guys returning, coach that coached under Leach returning. Everybody's like, yeah, they're gonna get away from this offense. I can't see them getting away from an offense that worked. You know, so I think this is gonna be a tough game for the Aggies. I think it's gonna be a lot tougher than people think. I mean, I think we should win just because of the Leach, but they don't have the close to the talent we have. But they'll make it competitive. Rodgers, they tore us up last year.
I have too much respect for Mike Leach to give him this win. I agree with everything you said. And experience is always a game changer. Experience is always a game changer. Rodgers has been playing forever since his freshman year. Right? He's probably thrown more passes than anybody else in the SEC. you know, the dude. So there's a lot of reasons for Mississippi State to be optimistic. I have too much respect for Mike Leach to think that they're going to win this game. Talent-wise, they still don't match up with the Aggies. We can say that pretty much every week. But at the end of the day, can the Aggie coaching staff do what they have to do to get this win? I'm going to say that Mike Leach makes that much of a difference. I'm going to give the Aggies a win.
I'm gonna give them the loss. I'll take the loss on this one. I'll go 7-3. You're 8-2.
8-2. ACU, just don't pull a UMass. That's all I want to see with ACU. Don't make this a 7-point game in the fourth quarter or whatever the hell it was. You know,
Yeah, we got this one.
5-point blow.
So we're 8-3. You're 9-2. Coming into the last game.
And here's the game. LSU, can they live up to the hype? Corey, what do you think?
Well, I mean, the game's in Baton Rouge, right? I think that makes a big difference. If it was in Kyle Field again, I'd take the Aggies, but I'm taking LSU. I think LSU has the talent. I like Brian Kelly as a coach. There is a lot of hype on them, which, I mean, they're not going to catch people by surprise like they did last year. They know it's coming. But I still like LSU at home. So 8-4 is where I got the Aggies.
This is the most important game for each one of both of these teams. Period. The most important game for both of these teams.
All right.
Period. I think that there's a lot of hype surrounding LSU. I think there's a lot of hype surrounding Jaden Daniels. I don't believe in the Jaden Daniels trade. I don't.
I thought you said his backup was better than him.
I do. I think Nussmeier has an opportunity to overtake, especially if they have some hiccups throughout the season, right? This is all going to be about the passing games to me, because they don't run the football necessarily. They use the quarterback to run the football some, but they haven't had a breakout like running back in a while. Last year, they didn't really have that. Their game plan is more about the passing game. It is about Jaden Daniels. So can Durkin do what he needs to do to make sure that they can corral Jaden Daniels in the running game? Make him a pocket passer? Force him to try to make plays out of the pocket? And what's the secondary going to do? Can you get some pressure on him? All those things. Versus the Aggie passing game, where can the offensive line protect Connor and give him the time to get the ball out to the weapons that we know we have. LSU's known for as DBU sometimes. They're not DBU right now. They don't have the same level of talent in the defensive backfield that they've had in the past. There's a good chance that we're not just better receivers against secondary. There's a good chance we are significantly better at receiver than they are in the secondary. So it really will become about whether the offensive line can protect Connor and give him a chance to get the ball out to me. That's going to be huge. So it's going to be passing game and passing game. LSU at home is tough. We know it. We see it every other year. We see it, right?
Right.
It's a hard one. It's a hard one. I am this close, but I just can't do it. This close to say we'd beat them in Baton Rouge, but I can't do it. I'm going to give it to LSU. I'm going to say 9-3.
9-3 is what you're saying. I'm saying 8-4.
So we're both saying over.
That's not what we bet on. But go ahead.
I'll say this: 8-4, I think is a failure of a year. 9-3 is barely acceptable. So there you go. Questions from the Tailgate brought to you by David Coffin PLLC. Over 20 years of experience in tax controversy. Give us a call if you need help with the IRS. Experience, respected representation for taxpayers. Helping taxpayers all over Texas. Call 817-251-7049. Let them know you heard of them on the Tailgate. First question: football starts next Saturday, Corey. Corey, we are a week and 3 days away from college football beginning.
Is that on Saturday? Next Saturday?
Next
I
Saturday,
had
man.
no idea.
Yeah.
Wait, next Saturday is a 20. Let me do
26,
math. What,
something like that. It's like the 26th or something.
like this coming Saturday or the following Saturday?
Not this Saturday, the following.
Ah, damn! I got all excited. I was about to send my kids to the
10
grandparents.
days. Like 10 days.
I mean, that's good. I'm happy about that. But I was all excited about this weekend. I was thinking making plans right now.
Hey, 10 days is pretty awesome. So let me ask you, Corey.
Go ahead.
10 days from now, light weekend of football. It's not a full slate, right? What
Right.
game are you excited to watch?
Who's playing? Who you got?
Vandy, Hawaii,
I'll watch it.
San Jose, USC,
Love it.
Navy, Notre Dame.
It can't get any better than that.
Dude, that's exactly my point. It doesn't matter. There's no quality games that day.
Doesn't
I'm
matter.
going to be watching every one of them that's on. Every single
Right. Everyone. If they're all at the same time, I'll put them on 3 different TVs. I don't give a shit.
That is it. It's going to happen. All
Yep.
right. Number 2, one bold prediction for the Aggies this year, Corey. One bold prediction.
My bold prediction. With all the weapons we have, I don't think one of our outside men can win the Heisman. I think Connor Wedman wins the Heisman. He has his own Connor Wedman story untold in about 5 years. How he came to A&M and he resurged the Aggies after a 5-7 season. He became the starter. A lot of weapons, threw a lot of touchdowns. Offensive line picks up. They go 11-1, win the SEC West, battle Georgia, beat them, and go into the playoffs and lose. They lose in the playoffs. That's where the story ends. But for next year, it gets better. That's my bold prediction.
You just said that they were going to go 8-4, so okay.
But this is a bold prediction. This is a bold.
Bold. Part of that bold prediction is also that Johnny, in his return to town, because he's got the new bar opening up in Northgate, is a
He's gonna get
mentor,
everybody messed up.
mentor to Connor and make sure that he stays out of the problems that Johnny had.
You think? Okay, you really want Johnny being your mentor?
No. All right. So my bold prediction, Corey, my bold prediction, here it is. I said it earlier. Malik Silla will lead this team in sacks. Bold prediction. That's mine.
I like it. I like that.
You like that?
I like McKinley Jackson better, but go ahead. Even from an
I'll
interior
give
spot, I
you
think
one.
McKinley's gonna get around.
I'm going to give you one more bold prediction.
Yeah.
This offense will score more than 35 a game.
More than 35 a game?
More than 35.
Hold on a second. Let me see something.
35 a game. Write it down. Take a picture.
I mean, I think it's possible. I mean, we only play like 2 or 3 decent defenses. We play Alabama, Mississippi State, who I think will be decent. And I mean, is Arkansas's defense worth a shit? Is Ole Miss's defense worth a shit?
No.
I mean, I could see that. But what the hell happened to us last year? Those defenses weren't any good last year.
Listen, it's a bold prediction. I don't think anybody else was making that prediction. I think it's bold.
Hey, my prediction was pretty bold.
Hey, we're getting so close to football season, man. This thing is getting exciting. I've been talking about it all day. Fantasy drafts for NFL are starting to happen.
Yeah, we got ours coming up.
It's getting exciting. Giga Aggies, AP, C Money, signing out from the tailgate.